The 49ers righted the ship in a big way on Sunday, crushing the Jacksonville Jaguars under a swarming defense, while offensively Brock Purdy continued making big plays with his arm. Welcome to Josh's Football Breakdowns, where we don't tell you what you're seeing, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. And I loved what I saw from the San Francisco defense. They got off to a hot start early. In fact, we're going to take a look at the very first play of the game here. The Jags put the tight end, Evan Engram, in motion, and Fred Warner goes with him. And take a look at the 49er defensive line. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Javon Kinlaw, and Clelin Ferrell, and all five would rush the passer. As a result, the Jags would leave Evan Engram in to help with pass protection. And this is what I love. Once Fred Warner recognizes that, he knows that he is free to rush the quarterback. Now the Jags do appear to have Calvin Ridley open on this play, but the pressure from Fred Warner takes this throw away. And Trevor Lawrence was never allowed to get into a rhythm for the entire game. On third down, we would see more great defense from the San Francisco 49ers. In fact, we would see something that analysts and coaches have been wanting to see all season long. Great pass coverage combined with a strong pass rush. Watch Javon Hargrave push the guard Walker Little right back into Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence has nobody open and he feels the pressure. He tries to spin out of it, but he stumbles. And when he does, Eric Armstead and Clelin Ferrell do a great job of getting off their blocks and cleaning up the play. So the 49ers would take over early in this game. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this play because as a staple of the 49er offense, it's something we've looked at ad nauseum on this channel. They fake the run to one side and sneak a receiver out to the other side. In this case, Christian McCaffrey. But wait, if that's Christian McCaffrey, who's in the backfield? Well, we can see it's Deebo Samuel. And we would see over and over again in this game how effective it was simply having Deebo Samuel on the field. Now Travon Walker also recognizes the play, but how many times have we seen Brock Purdy render this defender completely ineffective? Here the 49ers put Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, and apparently this freezes Travon Walker, and George Kittle just blows right by him. The 49er offense is in mid-season form, marching right down the field. Is this a run or a pass? Well, it sure looks like a run formation, and remember what we learned about Trent Williams. When it's a pass, he likes to have his left foot back, but when it's a run, he likes to be in this sort of squat position like we're seeing here. The Jags sure think it's a run. Oh, but those tricky Niners that are throwing a pass on this play. Now here's where things get interesting. We can see Brock Purdy pointing. He's trying to fake out the defense. He's hoping to get either one of these defenders to move out of the way, leaving either George Kittle or Brandon Aiyuk wide open. The problem is Kittle and Aiyuk also fall for this fake point, and they move too. There's nobody open, but Purdy throws it into the crowd, and Brandon Aiyuk comes up with it. Afterwards, Shanahan jokingly called this Brock Purdy's worst decision of the game. It was a pinpoint pass, but a risky one. And one we've talked about on this channel before, Purdy has a little bit of a gunslinger mentality. He's got a little bit of Favre in him, but he knows how to make these plays work. Most importantly for the 49ers, it counts the same on the scoreboard. So the score is San Francisco 7, Jacksonville 0, and the Jags are trying to make something happen on third down here. And once again, we see a lot of defenders up at the line of scrimmage. But this time they hang back, only rushing 4. And it's a good thing they did. This was supposed to be a screen pass, but now the screen is totally busted, and Javon Hargrave and Nick Bosa combine for the sack, and Chase Young wants to get in on the action as well. The 49ers get the ball back, and their offense picks up right where it left off. Facing what appears to be another run formation, the Jags bring a lot of players up. 9 players sort of up near that line of scrimmage. But this is a pass, and the 49ers have 3 receivers to one side of the formation. So the safety shades to that side. As a result, Brandon Aiyuk is one-on-one. And from this angle, we get a great look at Brock Purdy just going through his progressions. Facing a key third down on the drive, the 49ers would turn to one of their most dependable third down receivers, Jauan Jennings. But this is pretty tight coverage. This is going to have to be an accurate throw. And turn your attention to the pocket. We can already see Brock Purdy winding up to throw this pass. And of course, he can't throw it to where Jauan Jennings is. He has to throw it to where Jauan Jennings is going to be. And look where Brock Purdy's standing. On the far hash. He's going to have to get this ball outside the numbers, downfield from the far hash. And the throw is right on the money. And watch here as Jennings does a good job of making sure he gets that first down before going out of bounds. Great work by Jauan Jennings. And here on third down, Brock Purdy appears to have Deebo Samuel wide open in the end zone. But this time it's Jacksonville's turn to take a throw away with pressure. And Purdy tries to throw in a pump fake to move the defender. It sort of works, but not really, and Purdy ends up taking the sack. And you know what? I think that's okay here. Be smart with the football, don't do anything to turn it over, and preserve that field goal attempt, which Jake Moody knocks through, giving the 49ers a 2-score lead now, 10-0. So the Jags get the ball back, but once again we see excellent pass coverage downfield for the 49er defense. And when Trevor Lawrence steps up in the pocket, Nick Bosa and Chase Young do an excellent job again of getting off their blocks and meeting at the quarterback. And Nick Bosa takes the football away from Trevor Lawrence. This is a fumble and a recovery by the 49ers. It is San Francisco ball. Wow. Let's go back to the snap. All right, watch Nick Bosa strip this ball from Trevor Lawrence. So now the 49ers get the ball, and here we see more of Brock Purdy's magic with his legs. But we also see the flag come out for holding. Penalties are drive killers, so this play would not count, and the 49ers, even after that great defensive play, would have to punt back to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And check out Christian Kirk. He's doing a great job of faking like he's going to catch this punt. His plan is to let the ball bounce behind him and hope that it rolls all the way into the end zone for a touchback, which it very nearly does. But Mitch Wishnowsky puts the perfect amount of spin on the ball. Yes, punters can do that, and this ball stops right at the 1 yard line. The Jags are going to have to go a long way, but they do put together a pretty good drive here. So after all this, the Jags do get the ball down to the 19-yard line in field goal range. And they've taken a lot of time off the clock. There's less than 5 minutes to go now before halftime. But they are facing a key third down. And go ahead and remember back to the video we did 2 weeks ago against the Cincinnati Bengals, where the 49ers were in a similar defensive coverage, with one safety back deep and the 49ers playing press coverage. In that case, the Bengals used the slot receiver to blow right by the slot corner for a touchdown. Well, in that case, the slot corner was Isaiah Oliver. Here, the 49ers are using Mooney Ward. Unlike in the Bengals game, the Jags don't have a speed advantage now in this situation, and Ward is able to defense the pass, forcing the Jags to settle for a field goal, which Brandon McManus knocks through, bringing the Jags to within 7, trailing 10-3. You can also see on the clock here there's less than 4 minutes to go in the half. And this always brings up an interesting moment as a play caller, because the 49ers are in what would appear to be a passing situation, right? They want to get some points before the end of the half, but there's not very much time to do it. Well, the key here is they have all 3 of their timeouts left. And indeed, Shanahan calls a run. And we've all heard players joke about making a business decision. But here, with Trent Williams bearing down on Darius Williams makes an absolute business decision. He refuses to take on Trent Williams. One of these teams was avoiding getting hit while the other one was doing the hitting. And it wasn't just Trent Williams threatening to get physical. Check out Deebo Samuel throwing a block on this play. Shanahan follows this up with another great play call, calling what appears to be a run to Deebo Samuel, getting the defense to react and completely forget about Christian McCaffrey. And you may have noticed that this was actually a screen pass, making use of Trent Williams and his outstanding talents once again, and John Feliciano, an excellent choice to fill in for an injured Aaron Banks. With time winding down, Kyle Shanahan would make another outstanding play call. Here, Jacksonville knows the game situation. They know that time is running out on the 49ers. They know that they can't give up a long touchdown right before the end of the half. So Kyle Shanahan sends 3 receivers deep, and the Jags defense hangs back, once again leaving Christian McCaffrey open underneath. And then we see a flag come in late, so let's take another look at that. And there it is. Devin Lloyd pulls Christian McCaffrey's face mask. That would be a personal foul and forced half the distance to the goal, and comfortably putting the 49ers in field goal range at the end of the half, which Jake Moody does sneak in, giving the 49ers a 13-3 lead. Now the 49ers won the coin toss and deferred, so they would also get the ball to start the third quarter. And here we get to what is without question Brock Purdy's best throw of the game. Maybe even his career. we can see that George Kittle is completely blown by the aforementioned Devin Lloyd. But check out Brock Purdy. He throws in a pump fake. The safety thinks he's going to Brandon Aiyuk and steps up to take that throw away, leaving nobody back deep to defend the very dangerous George Kittle. Dime. Now the Jags did send Trayvon Walker on the blitz, and he actually does get a great push here, making Brock Purdy's throw all the more impressive. And look at the location of that throw. Brock Purdy could not have walked up and handed it to George Kittle any better than he threw that. And from this angle, we get a great look at the safety reacting to the pump fake. "66 yards, and the 49ers start to pull away, going up 20-3. The Jags, desperate to pick up this third down, have some options on this play. With Evan Engram running a stick route, the 49er defense hangs back, opening up Tank Bigsby underneath. But just take a look at that 49er D. They are poised to rally to the ball. But this play is already over. Jacksonville just doesn't know it yet, because Nick Bosa hits Trevor Lawrence right as he throws this football. Interception, and Jacksonville is fortunate that Trevor Lawrence is able to tackle Talanoa Hufanga there, otherwise he might still be running. Lawrence takes a quick peek to his right. He may have just been trying to look off the 49er defense here, but the problem arose when rookie tackle Anton Harrison, who has a tough assignment, just doesn't get enough depth, and Nick Bosa is able to go right by him. Now, much like we saw in the first half, the Jags were able to get the ball back, and they were able to mount a long drive after this. And one thing we like to do on this channel is talk about strange and unique football situations that arise. Well, this is definitely one of the strangest and one of the uniquest football situations that I can ever remember seeing. One thing I will say about this play is that the officiating on it was absolutely outstanding. Here, Lawrence has completed a pass to Christian Kirk, and you can see he is continuing to fight for yardage. His forward progress is not stopped. Ambry Thomas strips this ball out. Now watch closely. No Jaguars touch Ambry Thomas, meaning he is allowed to get up and run so long as he does so immediately. And incredibly, only 3 people on the entire field realize this: Ambry Thomas and both officials. Now, the Jags were unable to make a tackle, and we can see a lot of 49er players and coaches coming off the sideline. Did they prevent that tackle from being made? Well, it's unclear. And in fact, we can actually see the official is prevented from officiating the play. So he very rightfully, in my opinion, calls unsportsmanlike conduct, meaning this play ends right here and is enforced half the distance to the goal. This is just outstanding officiating from start to, well, almost finished, and we'll get to that in just a second. If there's one call that I wish was made on this play, it's this. Trevor Lawrence hits Ambry Thomas 3 yards deep into the end zone, and Thomas appeared to bother his hamstring, if nothing else, after this play. I think Lawrence should have been called for a late hit here. The officials didn't have the heart to throw the flag on the quarterback and made a very, I guess, understandable judgment call. You can clearly see the interference of all the players and coaches with the officiating. It's a Stanford Band-esque moment, and even the head coach was not immune to this. Kyle Shanahan, very reasonably, did not argue with this call. At the tail end, Lenore does have a conversation with Lawrence and lets him know, look, you don't need to hit him when he's already in the end zone like that. And Thomas does show off some nice running here. It's a shame that this did not count for him. The fumble, however, does count, so the 49ers do get the ball, albeit backed up. And facing a 3rd down and 9, we see another example of Brock Purdy's arm talent. And what a difference a year makes. We're talking about his arm talent, if you can believe it. All right, Brandon Aiyuk appears to find the hole in the zone. And this is just such an amazing route by Brandon Aiyuk. He does like a full curl here, appearing to sit up in the zone, getting the safety to react, and then turns it into like an out. And once again, we see Brock Purdy on the far hash having to throw this ball downfield outside the numbers. Robertson-Harris does loop around, but it just takes way too long, and Brock Purdy is just so comfortable moving around and stepping up in the pocket. And Aiyuk just moves to the sideline away from the defender. Great chemistry, too, between quarterback and wide receiver, and that's hard to do way down the field like that. Brock Purdy burns them again on the next play when there's a bust in coverage. And it's hard for me to know what the Jags are doing when even the Jags don't know what the Jags are doing. It appears as if they were trying to show zone but actually playing man, except for Alukin, who played zone and let Kittle run right through the zone. Dime. Watch all this pre-snap motion by the 49ers offense, and it clearly confused the Jags defense. And Kyle Shanahan caps off the drive by dialing up another winner. They start off by putting Charlie Warner in motion. This appears as if it's going to be a handoff in that direction to Elijah Mitchell, and the Jags defense reacts, and the 49ers are happy to let them. Brandon Aiyuk and Juwan Jennings pinning that defense to the inside, and we can see that Charlie Warner has already switched directions, and the 49ers also bring in their secret weapon, Trent Williams, to act as a lead blocker for Deebo Samuel. And for the second time this game, we see the business decision of Darius Williams, refusing to take on Trent Williams. Touchdown 49ers, and they have blown this game wide open. And from this angle, we get a great look at how the blocks of both Juwan Jennings and Brandon Aiyuk completely neutralized this defense. Facing 4th and 15 from their own 43-yard line, the Jags decide to go for it because they're down 3 scores in the 4th quarter, and that's 3 scores only if they go touchdown, 2-point conversion, touchdown, 2-point conversion, touchdown, 2-point conversion. So the desperation is real here. This is how far they have to go to pick up this first down. And the 49ers D seems to just relish these moments. Javon Hargrave explodes past the guard. He hits Trevor Lawrence, and Fred Warner intercepts the football, putting an end to this thing early. And just look at the body language on the Jags sideline. And here's Javon Hargrave, and we're going to get a great look at what happened on this play. Bruh. One of the things that really helps me when looking at the All-22 is being able to see these shots of the scoreboard, the down, the distance, where the ball is at, how many timeouts are left, etc. The game situation. But as with any set of pictures, sometimes you get more than you bargained for, and the juxtaposition in this shot is striking. All the 49er fans standing up and cheering, and the Jags fans streaming to the exits. Just take a look. With the game secure in the fourth quarter, who better to run the clock out than Christian McCaffrey? Feliciano and Brendel on one side, and this is actually pretty impressive by Burford and McKivitz on the other side, getting upfield and then turning back to create this hole for Christian McCaffrey. Trent Williams and Ronnie Bell set the edge, and Kyle Juszczyk acts as the lead blocker for Christian McCaffrey. Now the Jags, to their credit, they don't give up here. They don't just give in. They do try to stop the 49ers from running out the clock here. And that's unfortunate because this isn't a running play. Brock Purdy spots the aforementioned Kyle Juszczyk and watch as he directs him here to space. Great job quarterbacking the team by Brock Purdy. 3 touchdowns, 73.1% completion percentage in the game, 296 yards, 11.4 yards per attempt, for a quarterback rating of 148.9. Brock Purdy was 6 for 6 for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns on throws of 20-plus yards down the field. That stat courtesy of Jeff Deeney. And folks, Brock Purdy leads the NFL in passer rating, QBR, and yards per attempt. He is also in the top 10 in touchdowns and completion percentage. Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen, and that will do it for Josh's football breakdowns. The 49ers absolutely dismantle the Jags offensively and defensively. And now they've got one that they should win at home against Tampa Bay. You never know in the NFL, but they should win that game. And then we get to the critical 3-game stretch that I believe will define their season. Seattle, at Philadelphia, Seattle. Folks, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you like it here, please subscribe. Statistics show 73.4% of you are not subscribed, and we are less than 250 away from 10,000 subscribers, if you can believe that. How far this channel has come just blows me away, and I gotta thank some people for that. Those of you who have gone the extra mile to help support this channel, you guys, oh my goodness, every single week I am humbled and honored and just blown away by your generosity. You guys make the channel possible. Thank you so much. I cannot say it enough. Thank you. I truly do appreciate it. It really does help. All right, it's going to be Niners and Bucks at home on Sunday to hopefully propel them into that critical 3-game stretch that we talked about. And I don't know what's going to happen in that game, folks, but you know, we are going to be here to break down that film, and I will see you guys then.